Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Merry Christmas from Fairfield Today. Paul Jackson with you. Glad you're here. We are downtown at Fairfield Federal on a beautiful seasonal day, shall we say. Lots of snow out here in Lancaster and Fairfield County this time of year. It's Ohio, it's Lancaster, it's December, it's Christmas. We'll have some snow. So that's just the way it is here in Ohio, and we're really thankful for it. We're glad it's that way. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Second half of the show today, we'll be talking to our favorite calendar girl, Amy Carpenter. We've got a new Hank's calendar coming out, so we'll be talking to Amy the second half of the show. But the first half of the show, we're going to change it up a little bit and talk about something that necessarily isn't seasonal, and that's the Lighthouse, domestic shelter issues. 12 months a year, that never changes. We'll find out if this time of year whether it has any kind of seasonality to it or not. We've got the executive director, Megan Golden, with us. Megan, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Having me.
You are relatively new to the job. I can remember when Susan retired, what was that, 2-3 months ago? I remember going to the banquet out there, and she was retiring then. And how long has it been for you?
So I started in June, but Susan left in the end of August.
Okay, so you actually were there kind of
we had
shadowing.
We had a little
nice.
It was great.
She doing well? I haven't talked to Susan since she's dropped out. She enjoying not being involved in things?
She is. She's doing a lot of traveling.
She'll always be doing something,
yes.
Knowing Susan.
Yes, and she has 2 new grandbabies.
I've read some of that on social media, so I know she's really geeked about all that. So I'm glad for her and Tom. I'm glad it's going well.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here. I was looking at some of the info for the Lighthouse, and I didn't realize there was a mission statement for that, and it is to empower survivors through compassionate support, advocacy, and education. So I guess maybe, and I would say probably most people haven't had direct contact with the shelter, but I think most people maybe think that. I think maybe the thought is that's all you do.
Correct.
Is provide a shelter. So that's kind of a myth, right?
It is a myth. It absolutely is. So the Lighthouse is actually a full wraparound agency. So we operate a 24/7 crisis number. You can call, you can text, you can get to it via web chat. So we do things there like safety planning, linkage, determining if you should come into shelter, helping you get there if you need to get there. We have a case manager who does all of the linkage and takes you through anything like housing or food assistance that you might need. We have child care, which is very, very unique.
Wow.
So she'll watch clients' children so that they can go to appointments or that they can go to court, or even if they just want to take a shower and have some relaxed time, which they never get, And then I also have 4 advocates that they office out of Muni Court. 1 is assigned to Common Pleas, and the other 3 are at Muni Court, and they do TPOs and civil protection orders, civil stalking protection orders, temporary protection orders, things like that.
So I think the one thing that you said there probably talks about everything. Think of the Lighthouse, I guess, as more than a shelter, and that's I guess the kind of word you'll always try to get out there. Is
yes.
We are a shelter, but we're more of that, and some of those things, and you mentioned them, and they are pretty significant. 24/7 domestic violence hotline. So any time of the day, 24/7, 365.
Anytime.
There's a number to call to get a warm body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sure you want to get that word out there. Always call. Always
call. And it's not even specific to Fairfield County. So we get calls from all over the state and sometimes from out of the state. So, yeah.
I was going to ask, that was going to be one of the questions. Now, for example, with the Veterans Service Commission that we have here in Fairfield County, which is now out at the Levacy Center out on Sheridan Drive, every county has a Veterans Service Commission. That's kind of mandated. Every 88 of them around the state. But that's not the case with shelters like yours. So there aren't others very close to here?
There is, Franklin County has one and Licking County has one. But there are not very many that are very close
Sure.
geographically.
Sure.
So we coordinate a lot with the rest of the shelters in the state.
So again, there's no boundaries here in terms
No.
of counties or any place. If you've got some issues and they've got your
And
number,
we have
call
space,
them.
so we're going to help you. Absolutely.
Well, that's amazing. 24/7 domestic violence hotline. Remember that. Emergency shelter, and that kind of goes maybe hand in hand with that. If there's just something that pops up in a crisis moment, give you folks a call.
Absolutely, yeah. We have 6 units, 22 beds. So, and it is set up like apartments. So it is really conducive to healing, trauma-informed care. We do all of the welcome things. So, yes, absolutely give us a call if you're in that situation.
And I've seen some of the rooms, and I know some of the churches have been involved in helping that, but it's all kid-friendly, too.
It is all kid-friendly, absolutely. And we do have so much support from the community. The churches, our administration offices are actually in the First Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Lancaster. So, and they're wonderful. They let us use those offices. They always check in on us to see if we need anything, and they donate a lot of things. So they've just been excellent.
Well, it's again, it kind of takes a village to run a place like this, and I'm sure you would back that up, that you have so much support in the community that makes your
Yes.
job a lot easier.
It absolutely does, because we don't really bill. We run on grants and donations from the community.
And the legal aspect, you talked on that a little bit too. You've got, because so much of this thing, it can really get into the weeds when it gets really difficult times for a spouse or somebody that's in a situation where they need your services. And so much of that, probably a lot of it, gets to a legal aspect, whether it goes to court or whether there are protection orders. There's lots of things going on, and you've got people that will help a client kind of fight through that and navigate through that.
Absolutely, and it is so daunting. The legal system, I have found, causes almost as much distress as leaving the situation and coming in, because oftentimes it's people's first encounter with a courthouse or a judge. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what to do.
And it scares people.
And it's
I'm sure they feel
scary.
that they're in over their heads.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so our advocates will help guide them through it, and will also do the information, get the information, and do the applications for ODVN or for relocation or a REACH program, so that we can help them with paying some things to maybe get out of that situation as well. So our advocates are fantastic.
Well, I think part of your job, again, is whenever somebody comes in, everybody has unique needs. Every person, with children, without children, they all have unique needs, and whatever those are kind of the things you try to cope with. Is recidivism, people coming back, is that a big part? Is that like 75% you'll maybe see come back again, or maybe most people are one time and then gone?
I wish, but
Oh,
no, that is
yeah,
not the case.
yeah.
So statistically, DV survivors will return to the situation 7 times. It is right on par.
7 times?
7 times. It's right on par with relapse when somebody is trying to get sober. And there are lots of reasons for that. It's emotional manipulation, it's mental manipulation,
Yeah.
it's financial abuse. If one partner is the one who pays the bills and controls the money, the other one, that is just so much more to try to work around to be able to safely leave. And when you leave, that's when it becomes so much more dangerous.
Sure.
That's when the abuser understands they don't have power any longer.
Yeah, and oftentimes that oftentimes I'm sure leads to bad outcomes, but oftentimes it leads to they're coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find out that if somebody makes a return visit there, that they're able to navigate through the system a little easier? They feel more at ease. The kids feel a little more comfortable.
Yes, we do. So one of the very first things that we do is safety planning and needs assessment. So we're giving tips and tricks on their most dangerous situations that's specific to them. Maybe their abuser is worse when they come home from work, and maybe the other person's abuser is worse when they wake up in the morning. So we tailor the safety plan to them, and we do that continuously throughout the process. So when they're getting ready to leave, if they are going back to the abuser, we'll make another one. We'll make sure that we are in their phone under a pizza place maybe. We teach them as much as we possibly can how to get back out and how to stay safe while they're there.
And I'm sure a big part of what you do too is to try to talk to the kids.
Yes.
Because I'm sure the trauma on children is probably unbelievably hyped up. And certainly this time of year it's bad with Christmas and all that, but I mean, I'm sure you try to talk to the children and help them navigate through all this with mom or dad.
Yes, and definitely try to emphasize that they do not have a part in this. Nothing is their fault, and try to show them other ways. Holidays are actually, I mean, not that there's ever a great time to be in the shelter, but holidays are one of our favorite times because that's when there's so much support. We've had little children who have never seen a parade. We've had children who have never carved a pumpkin. And so to get to do these things, we hope goes a little ways to make them feel safe and secure.
So LancasterLH.org.
Correct.
Is that that's your website?
That's our website.
Lots of information down there, all the things we've certainly talked about today. What's the phone number?
It's 740-687-4423.
I'd write that down if you know someone, either yourself or you know someone that perhaps could benefit by knowing this information, or at least call up, talk to somebody. You're there to give information.
Absolutely.
At the very least, if somebody got a question.
Yes.
What can you do? I've got this issue. Can you help with that? You're there for that.
Absolutely.
You do great work down there.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you.
Megan Golden, who is Executive Director of the Lighthouse, LH.org, or LancasterLH.org is the website. All these things we've talked about are on there. Great detail, great website, lots of good information. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see how it turns into after the new year, and we'll have you back on. We'll chat some more. Welcome.
Thank you.
To the whole Lighthouse thing. I know you've been in it for a while, but I'm sure every day is a challenge, right?
Every day is different.
Every day is different. That's what Susan always said. Hey, you never know when you get up.
You never know.
The Lighthouse, Megan Golden with us. We'll be back in just a moment on Fairfield Today.
At Fairfield Federal, we believe true prosperity is shared. For 130 years, Fairfield Federal has invested in the community that built us. From supporting businesses that employ our neighbors, empowering the initiatives that strengthen our community, and serving generations of families, Fairfield Federal is proud to share this milestone of progress with our hometown. Fairfield Federal is your place for checking, savings, and home loans. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 402612.
There was a nurse there to receive him, and she looked at me and she said, "I've got your husband. I want you to go sit down and get something to drink. You probably haven't had anything to eat or drink all day. I've got him. Go take a minute." And she took him, and I knew he was in the best hands.
Hello, I'm David Uhl, Superintendent of the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. At Fairfield DD, we believe the holidays are about belonging, connection, and celebrating every person's unique gifts. Our mission is to bring about a vibrant community where people lead lives of greater independence and make meaningful contributions in our communities. This season, let's continue building an inclusive world, one filled with kindness, opportunity, and joy for all. From all of us at Fairfield DD, we wish you peace, love, and a truly meaningful holiday season.
It is so important for families to feel comfortable and safe when they call, because oftentimes that first phone call, even picking up the phone physically and just dialing that number, is very hard. You're asking for something that is a very difficult and private decision, and so we want everyone to feel comfortable and safe that you pick up that phone, you make that phone call, and let us just guide you and lead you where you want. And then you can make an informed decision about what's best for you and your family.
the Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster, and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you as we get close to winding down on the end of 2025. Of course, so many great events going on, but for this one, actually, we're going to look a little bit ahead to 2026 and with a really cool calendar. Everybody likes to have a nice calendar hanging up. We've got one that will work in any kitchen, in any environment. It's got puppies on it, and we love that. And when we talk about puppies, we know who we're going to talk to. Amy Carpenter is with us.
Thank
Puppies
you, Paul.
galore.
Yes.
That's your thing.
Yes.
You got a new calendar this year. How many years now? 10?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
A decade of
Yeah.
calendars going out here.
It's so hard to believe.
Now,
I just-
are we right around the anniversary? Was it Hank passed?
Yeah,
11
yesterday.
years? 11 years?
11 years yesterday.
Well, that's a very tough 11 years, but I'll say Hank would be very proud
Oh, thank
if he knew how this was had turned out, that his legacy has lived on and stronger now. Each and every year it gets stronger and
Yeah.
stronger. Got a new calendar out here. So those, you want to give us a little thumbnail sketch of how you got into this?
Yeah. So from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So Hank was my sister's dog, and in 2013 he was diagnosed with a rare cancer called sarcoma, and it was very subtle. So like all of a sudden, like one day I saw him having trouble going to the bathroom, but I didn't live with him. And then that was like in November, and then on February 1st, my mom called and said Hank won't eat his treats. And like for him not to eat his treats, we like flipped out because he would do anything for a treat. Let me dress him up in crazy costumes. And so she made the vet appointment, which was even more scary, because she was like really taking it seriously. So we took him to the vet just thinking he had like a UTI, and here he had a grapefruit-sized sarcoma. And I didn't know dogs got cancer. I had never heard of sarcoma, but we did everything to fight it. We went up to Columbus. I eventually got to the right place, Ohio State, who did a wonderful job with him, and we did everything. We did the radiation, chemo, surgery, and then when Ohio State couldn't help him anymore, I drove him to Colorado 20 and a half hours, and Colorado State University operated. And that was in July of 2014, and then in November it metastasized, and I ended up losing him 11 years ago yesterday.
Well, that out of that tragedy has come lots of good things. I think of the years we've talked about this now. We've seen laws enacted for this. We want to thank Tim Schaefer for getting that done. I know he kind of pushed things through there for you.
He was amazing. I owe him so much. I mean, he is someone that if he says he's going to do something, he does it. Like
state senator, sometimes state rep, but right now state senator Tim Schaefer. I know he's been involved in that, and I know we were looking at some of the fundraisers you do each and every year. Well, this is really the big one, isn't it? The Super Hank calendar you got going on right now. We've got a picture of that. Shane will put a picture up. Great picture.
Yeah, that calendar and the races are two biggest things that we do. Yeah. But the way that I got the theme this year for the calendar, Paul, is the Superman movie was filmed in Ohio. And that was coming out this year, and it came out the night before the race. Oh. So we were like, we've got to do,
moment.
Light bulb moment. Because I'm always a year ahead. I have to be, because to get the calendar out by Hank's race, I have to have the calendar done by the end of May, like the year before. Ooh. So a lot of stress. So I'm always thinking the year before, like, what's our theme going to be? What are we going to do? How's this all going to fit together? And sometimes the theme will go, like the calendar and the race theme will go together, and sometimes it's separate.
Sure.
But it kind of worked good because the theme for the calendar went with the race this year.
And one of the things that we talked about, Tim Schaefer, getting a law enacted a couple of years ago for Hank's Law is a very big thing. But the Columbus Blue Jackets recently got involved in this.
So this past weekend, I contacted them and I told them about Hank's Law, and I said, would you help us bring awareness to save lives? And they said, sure. So we got to go to the game. It was with the New York Rangers this past weekend.
Big team.
And
big
they put
team.
it on their Jumbotron.
Oh.
So everyone got to see it, and hopefully we'll Google and then know the signs in dogs and people to try to save some lives.
And that's really been your focus for the past decade plus is just getting the word out there that, first of all, you did know it was in dogs that they could get cancer, and then you find out or you work it out to where that's the same thing that affects humans.
Yeah, and see, in the very beginning when I was going through my grief, I had to go to counseling, and she said, Amy, you know, I know that you just want to focus on Hank, and I know you just want to focus on dogs, but this is bigger. She says, you need to focus on people. You need to focus on all cancers. She said, we all fight the same evil, whether it's breast cancer, sarcoma, dogs, people. Like, it's your job to help everyone. And so she got me out of that kind of closed-minded thinking and broadened the spectrum for me. And I started realizing, plus after I lost Hank, I started traveling like the United States and across the world to like Portugal and going to these sarcoma conferences. And I would meet all these nice people fighting sarcoma. And they couldn't fight for themselves because they were sick. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you know what? That, just kind of cemented the idea that this isn't just about Hank, it's about people. And those friends that I met, I've got to fight for them too.
Well, you couldn't have a better advocate than Amy if she's on your side, because she's really raised the awareness of this. 10th calendar, and I know all of them haven't been, but I know law enforcement has been a big part of this decade. Yeah,
law enforcement has been wonderful supporting our calendar. We've done different years. There's been 2 calendars with the sheriff's office. They've been wonderful. And then the Lancaster Police Department, we've done them, and also the Lancaster Fire Department. We've had them on our calendar before, and the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and the Lancaster Police Department are on this year's calendar in the month of December, because the theme of the calendar, it's Super Hank, but it's all the superheroes in our community doing super things.
Certainly first responders fall under that.
And what would we do without them?
Yeah. We also want to mention Greg Russell at Park Lanes. Yes. He's always been a tremendous advocate of yours.
Is.
Roosters, Damon and Courtney Howard, good friends.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of people help you along the way, girl.
Yeah, and looking back, it's just so hard to believe it's been 10 years, But that's when I was looking today at our sponsorship, and then the sheriff's office, like I said, Damon and Courtney, Roosters, Pet Supplies Plus, Park Lanes. I mean, they were the very first ones, to sign on that year and stick with us the whole 10 years. You kind of sponsorship comes and goes, ebbs and flows, but they've stuck with us the whole 10 years, and that means so much, especially a small organization.
So we've got the Super Hank calendar. How do you decide on 12 pictures?
That's the hard part.
I would say, because you've got so many to choose from.
Yeah, and the hard part is just everyone has such busy schedules, and trying to get people to get back to you and orchestrate photo shoots and everything. So when I was doing this calendar, I wanted to make it not just about dogs. So there are dogs in it. Of course, Hank's in it. Tim Schaefer's dog Fancy's in it, because she was she had cancer. And so she was a cancer fighter. But I also wanted to put people in it with sarcoma. So my friend Q's in there. She had lost her leg to sarcoma, and she does Olympic sports now. So she defies the odds. And then I also wanted to put doctors in there fighting sarcoma. So like Dr. Raphael Pollock and Dr. Joel Mayerson, he's the human doctor that saved Hank's life. Because when I went to Ohio State, they wanted to put him down because they didn't think that the tumor could be removed. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm not leaving here till you do something to help him. So find a way. And so they contacted the human doctors at Ohio State. And Joel Mayerson was the human doctor they contacted. From the James area. And he educated the vets how to remove a grapefruit-sized sarcoma. And to this day, I'm friends with him, and he comes every year and supports Hank's race now.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing how full circle it's come? And he came and testified at Hank's Law. I mean, it just gives me goosebumps to think about it.
So one of the big questions we certainly want to ask is, how can you get this calendar?
Yeah, so you can get the calendar at our website, and it's www.hankkabelsarcomafoundation.
Kabel.
Yeah, EL. sarcomafoundation.com. And then my phone number is very public and out there on our website. So even if you wanted to reach out to me and you could just purchase it from me. We're also going to be doing a couple fundraising events coming up at Pet Supplies Plus, and they're going to be like a Christmas theme. And those are on November 22nd from 11 to 3, and also December 6th from 11 to 2:30, and we'll have them available that day too.
So lots going on here, keeping it fresh, keeping it moving. Super Hank, huh?
Yes, because he was super.
That's what it'll look like when you get it. Got a great picture of Hank on there as the dog of steel, shall we say, like
Right.
that. But it's just a great calendar, and again, I know you think you're really, this is a community-driven thing. So many people have hopped on and helped you along the way.
Definitely. There's so many people that have sponsored us over the years, and we appreciate that small community. You know, that's what's nice about Lancaster, is everyone comes together to support each other, and we love that small town feel and everyone getting involved in such a good cause.
Well, it's Super Hank 2026 calendar. Go on Hank Kabel
Sarcomafoundation.com
is the website. You can get it on there. And interesting, on the front it says, "What is your superpower?"
Exactly.
With them? Well, yours is keeping this out in front of the public, right?
Thank you.
Keeping it fresh and new, and took a lot of people along the way, but heck of a decade, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And our whole mission, Paul, like after I lost Hank and I started our foundation, our nonprofit, I was like, what's the main purpose? And we have two, of course, to raise money for research because we want a cure. And second of all is to get the signs out there, because if you know the signs in dogs and you know the signs of sarcoma in people, and you can find it early, an early diagnosis, you can find a cure.
Always with cancer, that's it, isn't it?
It is. You got to find it early.
Yeah.
And knowledge is power. Some people don't want to know, but you got to know. You got to know the signs. And if things start seeming wrong and not right in your body, your dog's body, you know, it's your body giving you the warning signs. You need to go get checked out.
I assume in the pet world you're seeing more of this, because now as awareness gets raised, people realize, I better get something looked at here now.
Yes. Yeah, and 1 in 3 dogs get cancer. It's the same as women. 1 in 3 women get cancer, 1 in 2 men get cancer. So, you know, we're all in the same boat together, dogs, people. So we got to care about the dogs, because research in dogs helps people, and vice versa. We all get the same treatments. So we need to care about everyone.
You've done your part. I can tell
you.
you that. The new calendar is Super Hank. What's your superpower 2026? Go on the website. You can find Hank. I know you're on all kind of social platforms out there. Knowledge is power. I know you like to put that out there like that.
Definitely.
A lot of good people have helped this. It's 2026 Super Hank calendar. It's going to be another wonderful year. We're looking back to have you on next year.
Yes.
We'll talk about your year-long events, because we know you'll have things going on, and probably some new things. New things always pop up.
Definitely. Got to keep it fresh.
So thanks for what you've done to help out folks and pets. Done a great job.
Paul.
Amy Carpenter with us. Super Hank calendar. Make sure you get one of those. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.